Hello.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, guys.
Welcome to the Shedheads podcast.
42. Again.
Again.
For us. We're gonna get that out of the way. So this is the first time this has happened, and it's really disappointing.
You can hear the sadness in his voice today.
Yeah, about a week ago today we recorded this and only recorded my audio. Because I've been using my mixer to record some music stuff, and I didn't change the settings back, and it was heartbreaking because I think it was one of my favorite episodes we've done.
So you all will never get to hear that discussion. So instead you're hearing this one.
Yeah, I could upload like my half of it, but that'd be kind of stupid. This is hopefully a shorter one. It's definitely going to be shorter than it was a week ago. For the respect of any potential listeners, we are re-recording and just going over it concisely. So think of this as a mini, if you will. We're pretty much just going to go over notes, quick things, not go too terribly deep into discussion, just because we already talked about and burnt out. But we'll cover the basics. I'm going to give you my notes. You're going to react to them. That's pretty much going to be it. We're not going to take a bunch of time.
And then you'll get my thoughts and scores and all that, and then moving on.
Yeah, and we're also going to try not to be like too dismissive or like, because we already did this. We're going to try and respect what the podcast is. We told you a week ago we'd talk about this. That's what sucks about losing one of these. So let's get into it without any further ado.
I do.
Yes. Innuendo, your recommendation.
Oh, I forgot we were talking about this, genuinely.
Yeah.
I thought we're like, okay, you're just doing the movie and I forgot what I read.
Exactly. So you didn't have any notes on your album, huh?
No, I didn't, because last week was kind of hectic. But I knew this album plenty well. I listened to this quite a bit. This is Queen's last album.
Yep.
Came out in 1991.
14 years after Eraserhead, their last album.
Oh, wow.
You just said that.
Yes, and also, coincidentally, this is my first album that I really went into with Queen.
I didn't know that.
Like the first full album that... No, wait. It was Our News of the World. I don't even remember.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that last time.
It was one of the first ones.
How'd that happen? How'd this end up being that album?
Because someone recommended the song Innuendo, and I was like, wow, this is fucking dope. I want to check out the album.
I could see it. So
then here we are.
Yeah. Okay. So what do I have?
Speaking of which,
that's
right. What do you think?
What have I got? It's not really what I expected. It was a lot of like arena rock kind of sounds and more metal tendencies. We'll get into that.
Kind of what Queen is, honestly.
Yeah, which I didn't know. Generally, like I'd expected more grandiose kind of.
More operatic.
Yep, the kind of stuff that you hear on their hits that we all know and are familiar with.
There's still quite a bit of operatics in this album, though.
There's some of that, yeah. I'm going to say there's not as much, but not to say that this isn't a generally epic album. So yeah, they make some cool use of panning in most of the tracks too. Also wanted to note, because I didn't know individually for every song, like, oh, this is on the left, this is on the right. Just overall coverall note right here. Without further ado, again, Innuendo.
The title track.
Yeah. So what did you have to say?
This is what I described to you before as Queen's other operatic masterpiece.
Yes.
And yeah, this is a wild trip, honestly. So it starts out with like a lot of a really ominous type sounding march with some droning synths, and it's all like kind of this Egyptian type of thing, and then it starts. Freddie kicks it off, jumps in, and then the guitar starts going crazy and all of that.
Right.
And you're on this whole journey, and then it goes into this fucking salsa type of groove with an epic guitar solo, played none other than the lead guitarist in Yes.
Did you say that last time?
Yeah, I did.
Wow,
yeah,
I
you're
forgot.
like, oh wow, that's a
that is wow. That's pretty cool. I totally already forgot. So
they went. The story goes that they went to him, and they were like, "Hey, like, write a guitar solo for this part. Just play it." And he was like really honored and like didn't know what to do, but just played it, and they fucking loved it. It's wild.
It is.
Yeah.
It really took me off guard when all that was going on when I first heard it. What do I have? My notes on it. Oh yay, Beverly Hills.
Yeah, because it starts out with the drum roll and the rim shot.
Yeah, but it didn't. It was much right. We get like this metal introduction in the vein of Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden, maybe. 3 minutes in, we go into the pick solos, clapping. The clapping, pretty epic.
That's the salsa part.
Very driving. Yep. Mm-hmm. Followed by one of the more grandiose sections and driving, dueling guitar soloing, which I guess is done by the guy from Yes. Well, half of it probably.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts in this whole song is like right before, where it's after the ominous, but before the salsa part, where you get kind of like this the softer operatic section,
right?
And it's like be free with your tempo. I love that part. Love the lyrics too.
I love pretty much everything here, especially like I mentioned, the guitars, like the little metal were like and you were like, yeah, that's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, what you just sang.
But you know what it is that though. That is the melody. There are a few phases to digest with.
Yeah.
And was he singing in this one? I remembered last time, but now it's been 2 weeks. What is he singing this song? What's the chorus?
We'll tread the fine line.
Not what I'm thinking. We can move forward if you want.
Yeah,
but
sure.
yeah, I can't remember.
There's like 4 different choruses in this, so
Okay.
in this whole song.
Okay. I remembered everything more a while ago.
We'll keep on trying.
Yeah, that. We'll keep on trying.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to remember.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. This is the fantastic song.
Track
the
2?
Staples of this whole album.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Probably one of my favorite Queen songs just ever.
One of my favorites. It is in my love category, which I kept. Categories. Next. I'm going Slightly Mad.
Yeah, and you love this song.
I do love this song.
So it's pretty great, but I'm not super huge on it. It sounds really interesting. It's like circusy almost in the beginning.
Yeah, we had different takes on this one. Because you said that. You can go through what you thought.
It just sounds like it's on a carousel, really. Like all it's missing is just chromatics. I think I said that last time too.
Yeah, you did.
And let's see. But yeah, Freddie's again, just vocals are always going to be amazing.
Right.
And there's lots of fun stuff here and rhythm guitars happening afterwards, though.
And my interp was pretty different, I guess. I felt like it's this spacey, atmospheric, but driving, sinister vibe, like that. You said you think it's more like this funhouse kind of thing. Like
the sound itself, what it's playing, yeah, I agree with.
Yeah, I feel this like kind of unnerving build of tension. I'm going slightly mad. Especially the way that's sang. And yeah, we've got Mercury singing in a lower register than usual, which is really great. He sounds fantastic.
Oh dear.
The subtlety and restraint in his performance is enticing. The way the song comes together is perfectly in line with its theme. At least, yeah, like I said, for me, the song sounds like someone's building and kind of on a breaking point. And yeah. Track 3.
Headlong,
I'll take you on. Okay.
Headlong, keep you going on. I don't know.
I'll take on anyone.
The song's pretty good. It's
this one's
really driving, but it gets really repetitive for me, and it sounds just kind of funny with the car driving by. I just fucking
No, that's a different one. Or is it here too?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's this one?
No.
Oh no, that's Ride the Wild One. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, this might as well be this one.
Okay.
You're going headlong.
There's
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I said it's very arena rocky. This is like where that kind of sound entered for me. It reminds me of a lot of like 80s kind of like, I don't know. I noted Def Leppard, Rush, Van Halen, Journey, and I said maybe even the Tubes vibes. But I don't really listen to any of those bands, so take it all with a grain of salt. It's just like, the stuff like Dan plays in Ninja Sex Party. Yeah,
the songs is a bit simpler though. Like you got guitars, drum, and you got everything, but nothing really else other than that.
Mhm.
I mean, they're all just kind of popping off and making it and just driving it. That's pretty much just a driving song, you know?
Not really
Keep
my
going.
thing, but I'd say they nailed that sound. Yeah, it's pretty repetitive. Okay.
And I agree
cool.
with you. There you go.
Great.
Moving
go
on.
forward.
I Can't Live With You.
And I can't live without you.
But I can't live. And I can't live. Yeah.
I kind of here I feel the same kind of as I did with Headlong. I like the guitar solo. But again, it's not bad. It's just not my vibe. I don't know.
I can agree with you. But I still like
better.
this more than Headlong.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because this is more rhythmically interesting than Headlong. You know, we have
Agreed.
them. Yeah, we have them all going in harmonies. You know, going I can't live with you, bop, in the rim shot. You know,
Right.
that already is just more rhythmically interesting, and it keeps going from there.
I'm gonna
Though it is repetitive as well.
I'm gonna
still
agree with all that. Great.
Next one. Don't try so hard.
Don't try so.
You'll
hard.
get a nosebleed.
This is one that I've kind of forgotten how it goes.
He's really angelic singing. It
Yeah.
sounds almost like Jeff Buckley could cover this.
Right.
You
Okay.
can really
This is
hear
the
him in
one.
this.
Okay. Yep. So I wrote nice little harmonics at the opening and harmonic. Mercury's voice slides in like a warm knife through butter. Subtle and effective little build with the bass and cymbal hits coming in before breaking down into a big chorus, and then it kind of repeats that. Like that's its kind of formula for this one, and it sounds pretty good. The distorted guitar tone is immaculate as usual, with a powerful solo showing restraint to support the song, as most solos on this album do pretty well.
But Freddie just nails all the notes, and there's so much passion into this too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, lyrics are great too. Something like if you have the world on your shoulders, just remember, don't try so hard.
Right. I need to.
Oh, don't try so hard. Oh God,
I did-
that's nut. That's a nut right there.
I didn't. I didn't have lyrics up.
They're pretty easy to grasp.
Perhaps
that's why I said it.
Perhaps I should have, but
Honestly, they're kind of they're kind of what you expect.
Okay.
Given the message of this album, like they're nothing, I think, great as far as I remember.
sure.
There could be some other verses in there, but mostly, yeah.
Right. Okay. By the way, those last two tracks, Headlong and I Can't Live With You, are probably my two least favorites on the album. I have them in my meh category. And this one,
meh,
meh,
Said
meh, my meh,
my meh.
meh. This one's in my like category. It's my maybe.
I love this one. This is one of the more emotionally charged songs in this album.
Mm-hmm.
And
can see
very
it.
much appreciate it.
I can see it. I can see it. Let's go to track 5.
Ride the Wild Wind. Complete opposite. Fuck the song.
Yeah, we've got
Fuck the song, dude.
we've
So,
got
like
opposite takes on this one too.
just right after the good shit, right after I nut, this is the regret. Okay, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty serviceable. It's just the cars. I just laugh. I can't help but laugh.
So,
but
I like-
clearly I get this one mixed up between Headlong, but you go for it.
Which is weird, yeah, because I like this one a lot. It's my love. The first 30 seconds I think are like, oh, whatever. But once that beat kicks in, it's hype as fuck. Yeah, if you throw a beat like that at me, there's a like.
So you're a slut for 16 minutes and I'm a slut for triplets.
There's like 100%, 110% chance that I'm gonna be down with it.
Just ride the wild wind.
Yeah, okay, so let's get into the rest of it. There's a panning sound of a speeding car or something that goes from left to right, as well as plenty of other ambient sounds and voices that I felt added to the uniqueness of the track. So we're different there. Once again, we get Mercury exploring the lower part of his range, but he still breaks into some higher sections here and there, supported by chanting vocals.
You can definitely feel the energy in this song.
Yes. All of this keeps me distracted from the fact that most of this track is just Mercury repeating Ride the Wild Wind.
Yeah, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I can't really get into the song either, because it's kind of just like, why don't we get to do it in the road?
I don't like that one. I remember that. Like you just brought something back.
Yeah, but
when you
I
said
love that song. I don't know
Why
why.
don't we do it in the road? No, you just
It's really just that the whole time.
Yeah,
but I
you
love
just
it.
brought back some PTSD. I think I hated that one. And
Damn.
last note on this song, guitars again. Duh. Okay, love category. All God's People. Track 6 or something.
People. That's all I remember for the song.
I don't
It's so
remember much.
forgettable. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
this one I have trouble.
There's some like exotic
I didn't-
percussion going on, like with the bongos, congos, or whatever.
I didn't love this one. This one's a meh. At one point, we have guitar soloing in the left ear and Mercury going to town in the right ear. That was kind of cool, though.
Some nice double penetration.
Yeah. I like a lot of what's going on here sonically, as with most of the album. But like it just didn't do it for me, I guess. I think I'm hearing some blues here, and I am. Overall, I think it's all right. Not really my thing. Anything
you got
else? Yeah, that's it.
You got it. There's also some soul in there too, because that just happens when you get group vocals. But yeah, you're there.
Dankity dank.
These are the days of our lives.
They are.
All right,
Let's move. Tom hits our panned to different ears at the beginning. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I said I wouldn't talk about the panning much. I had a couple notes. I said you're really doing yourself a disservice if you listen without headphones to this record, because I play with that a lot.
Pretty much any record, really. Like, what are you doing?
This is a sweet and ballady song. Mercury and the synths shine here, as well as the guitar work again, which consistently complements these tracks pretty seamlessly. I felt this is one of like my favorite likes.
The days of our lives. I love that melody.
It's a pretty song.
It is very pretty. And the percussion certainly is interesting and helps like you break it up but move it along too.
Right.
Though I think like some of the synth sounds or guitar or whatever is like there, it's hard for me just to remember. I think they sound a bit bland, at least just starting from memory, because I just don't find them memorable.
Sure. But
they sound just distinctly like almost 80s like TV show.
Sure.
In terms of like, I don't know.
You're into this one though, right?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I love this song.
Yeah.
It's just the only gripe I have about it if I had to give one.
Sure.
But yeah, another emotionally charged life.
Another
track
emotionally
song.
charged
It's
life.
been a long day. Oh man.
All right.
Emotionally charged life.
Delilah.
I was gonna say, you can definitely like watch the music video for this.
Oh right.
It's really great. It's kind of set like as a cabaret style, like Freddie's got all this makeup on. He's dressed up quite a bit more. He's like walking around like super poshly and elegant.
Right.
Just kind of singing this like with the piano in the background.
I thought I'd
but
heard.
you can definitely see like his health status at the time like taking a toll on him,
Right.
which makes the song even more like emotionally powerful, because it almost gives another context to what he's singing about.
I thought that I'd heard this was like a hit from this album or something, but maybe I was just confused with the show Days of Our Lives, which was pretty popular in like the 90s or some shit. I don't know.
I mean, if I had to share one of the songs on this album, honestly, it's between this one and Don't Try So Hard.
Okay, cool.
I just had to link this out of nowhere.
Thank you. Delilah. Meow. It's about cats.
Oh,
I love.
lots of meows.
Yeah, I love that this exists and it shows a sense of humor.
The band has quite a bit of a sense of humor. Like they're not above being wacky sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And this is kind of like that
You'll
track.
definitely get that more if you listen to jazz.
Okay. Yeah, for this album, that's kind of like what this is. This track here, and it's, I said I love that it exists. It's cute, but it's honestly like background music. It's not like really a great song. I guess there's a lot of Queen fans who aren't big on this one. From
I'm not big on it
from what I
either.
was reading, the meows they don't sound good, but like
They
but
get
like
on my
they're funny.
nerves.
Yeah.
They get on my nerves. So does the melody a bit, and the little like shuffling.
Yeah.
Did you talk?
I said Delilah.
Oh, I swear to God, I thought I heard an Alexa talk. That's why I looked up like, what the fuck?
Well, maybe it was caught on our podcast here.
Yeah. Maybe you just talked like Alexa for like a quick second. Jesus.
Delilah. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you said that. I think I was talking. God. I said this before, but I give her the command, like I say, a Blanca, good night. And then she's like, good night, sweet dreams.
Yes.
And I'm like, I didn't ask for that. I wanted you to turn off my lights, damn it. Like, she just keeps talking, just out of nowhere. It's fucking annoying, but I'm not the only one. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, see, that's why I said a Blanca, in case anybody's like, listening and they have one there and it just doesn't wake up from a video saying it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Be considerate, damn it.
you woke it up once already.
That's
at
true.
First, but it's
if
cool.
we're keeping score, I woke it up less than you did.
I guess
That's what matters. Yeah. Also, like the shuffling synths, like the whatever that is. Like it just gets really monotonous and kind of irritating to listen to.
Sure.
Though I can appreciate its existence and like its sense of humor.
I also
it's funny,
appreciate
but
that.
just as a song, not really my what I'm into.
Right.
I said last time as well, before we went into the track list, that kind of around here is where the album kind of loses steam for a bit.
Sure.
Like in the latter half of it.
I felt the middle. As you could tell, I've been giving a lot of like mans out here.
Yeah, but Don't Try So Hard is in the middle, and so is Ride the Wild Wind.
I said I like this one.
It's kind of like From All God's People, and then Exception of Days of Our Lives, and onwards, and then the last song is just kind of
weird. I don't know. I've got some loves here towards the end, but this one it's a like.
But it did lose steam for you somewhere, and
even though it's not great, it's like bordering on a meh. I just can appreciate this one. So yeah, let's move forward. I can't really appreciate this one. The Hitman. It's kind of like butt rock, and that's weird for Queen. I
forgot what the song.
This is a big meh for me. You can probably tell by now this sound doesn't really do it for me. Not that there's anything technically wrong with the execution. They made the sound right. I just wish they didn't want to make this sound. Well, you can play it for a second if you wanted to hear.
Nah.
Well, I think you kind of agreed with me on this one.
It was a lot of distortion. It wasn't really clear with the guitars, and I just honestly forgot it.
It's kind of like that one song on Jeff Buckley's Grace that I don't remember because it's the one that we both kind of felt like that about too. Yeah,
that one. Go watch that. You'll listen to that pod.
Well, you'll know what it is. It's the one that's more like distorted and kind of like this kind of sound on Grace. Okay, Bijou.
Bless you.
Okay, thank you. I read on Song Meanings that this song is supposed to invert traditional roles of vocals and guitars in a song. Like the guitars in this play a lot at the beginning, like a lot of soloing. Then the vocals are kind of like the traditional guitar solo. They're in the middle of the song. They just got like this one sung part. It's not like a traditional format of verse chorus or anything. And then like after the vocals finish up, it's back to the guitar solo. And I'm not sure if that truly was the intention with this song, but if that is true, then that's really cool. I can see it. Great song. Love it. That's instead of talking about the song, I just talked about that concept. I like it a lot though. What do you have to say?
It's a very nice song.
It's
Another
a sweet
Jeff Buckley
song.
type of sounding thing.
Yeah, sweet ass guitars.
Very
again.
angelic.
Very so. Very much.
Very so. It's been a long day, guys.
It has. I hope you guys can keep up with us.
Oh no, they're keeping up.
Cool.
We just slowed down. Okay. The last song, and I guess the only like hit on this you can edit that and make it Island in the Song. I just realized.
Huh?
Hit. Yeah.
Big hit.
This one, this is the big hit.
This is
the one that's like at the end of every greatest hits compilation.
Sure.
And apparently it was in the movie too. I didn't notice it.
I don't know. I was
just gonna say I love this song. It's my favorite Queen song, especially with where it's placed, being the final track on their final album. It really fucking goes out with a bang.
I like that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people know this, but it just hits different when you hear this album and get to this song. It feels earned, and it's almost like more context again behind with Hetty's. Oh god, Freddie's health. I was gonna say
Hetty's Froth. Okay, yeah.
Totally gonna say that if I didn't catch myself.
Right. So
show must go on.
I do love this. Do love this song. Didn't know it. Did not know it already. So it's cool. Since I guess it's one of their hit tracks. yeah, just
It just takes everything.
I just got to hear it in context of this album for the first time, so pretty cool.
It takes everything from "Don't Try So Hard."
Don't try so hard. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
pretty much. And I think "I Can't Live With You" / "Headlong" maybe some other like rock elements. It just kind of feels like a conglomerate of the song of like some of the previous tracks.
Right. I can
Which
see
is
it.
some good shit, and Queen is known for doing that too in their other albums.
I said I love the drums playing off beat with the synths in the intro. It kind of harkens back to the opening track. Not that particularly, but like the feel of the song harkens back to Innuendo. One of the more epic, cooler
the strings
sounds.
coming in and shit.
Yeah, one of the cooler sounds you find on this album. It feels more theatrical and more epic than a lot of the album, in my opinion. It's closer to what I was expecting going into this album. Big chorus. Not what I was expecting either.
My dick hard.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the chorus just to be "Show must go on." I was like, oh, huh. I didn't know how I felt the very first time I heard that, but by the time we got to the second iteration with the multi-layered harmonies, I was just like, there it is. And as the song fades out, we get a little repeating, "Go on, go on, go on."
Yeah.
I love that. It's neat.
It is
pretty
some neat shit.
Pretty dank stuff here. I love it. I love it. Okay, you don't get it. Cool. So ratings, final thoughts, whatever. I don't have any final thoughts, but I thought you might.
Well, we did miss something.
We did.
Yeah, what'd you think about the album art?
Stop it.
No, for real.
I told you I didn't know what it really was, and then you described what it was.
Yeah, it's this circus dude fucking juggling planets and shit with both hands.
Yeah.
It's like this, and a giant that's like among all these other Earths.
Right.
And it kind of it pretty much encapsulates the album, like especially when you listen to the title track, you know. It almost fits perfectly. Same thing with Going Slightly Mad. Like some of these tracks, like when you think about like what the album art is like supposed
I don't
to
know.
mean. Fuck my phone. I don't want to look at it anyway. Just, it's almost comic booky too, but it's surreal.
I'm gonna say like a visual association is obviously something that's very subjective. That'll change person to person. To me, I don't know that like that fits it, but we don't have to talk about that.
Well, not necessarily.
Just because I didn't mention that last time. I picture something more dark and brooding with this album for some reason. Probably because of tracks like Innuendo. That just sounds so epic and metally at the beginning.
Yeah, but this is Queen.
Yeah, it is
Queen.
Queen.
We're talking.
I guess you're right. So I'm wrong. Let's move forward. With a rating. Me first. I forgot.
Yeah, you first.
I forgot. Okay. Yeah, I give this a 7 out of 10. I quite enjoyed it. I think there's a Queen album out there that will suit me a little better. There's probably an 8 out there in their discography or even higher. I don't know. But that's where this one sits for me. And I'm glad you had me check it out.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
It's getting a hard 8 from me as well. There's just a lot of tracks on here that kind of hold it back, you know, that I just don't enjoy nearly as much.
Yeah.
But there are so many high points, and even the lesser tracks are still better than a few of the other duds on the other Queen albums.
High highs and meh lows. They're not the worst.
Yeah.
So,
But it's not like the other albums have like super low lows either. It's
Sure.
just they kind of have like the one, maybe two like hits.
Hit.
And I did it again.
Right. Smashes. Yeah.
Yeah. This album smacks like everywhere pretty much.
Sure.
There's so many nuts to bust when you listen.
Absolutely.
Like you get to these huge, awesome choruses. It's got Innuendo on it. What more do you need? Only thing. Okay, this is gonna be.
My cat's an idiot.
This is gonna be based as fuck to say, but the only thing Night of the Opera has going for it is Bohemian Rhapsody. The rest of the album, not good.
Bo rap.
I'm gonna hit it with you. At least from what I remember, I heard it last time I heard it was like a year and a half ago. But it was quite a few times. So it wasn't just a listen, and I was just like, I don't know any of these songs, not Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that. I gave it a fair shot.
Cool.
But yeah, this album, you're going to be getting another Queen one at some point in the future. It's going to be quite a ways away.
Right.
so don't even have to worry about it.
And it's not going to be Night at the Opera.
This one is, I think it's a good starting point.
It's good to gauge what I should listen to next.
Yeah, maybe honestly, jazz is a good starting point. I'm not sure. There's not really a whole lot of places you could go wrong in terms of where to start. But This is one of the ones where I feel like it's a more unique album. It's more of a, I guess, sort of. It just feels like a more enclosed project. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, you said that last time, and I had a little disagreement, because I felt like maybe it's unique in Queen's discography, but it's a sound that I was more familiar with.
Well, that's what I meant in their discography.
It's like a very, like, I can see where they might have taken some influence on this one, where
like they're really going for different things in this album.
Yeah,
and like making the sound just work.
Sure.
A lot of them are just kind of like, some of the hits that just sound like they didn't quite like cut it or something.
Right.
Almost. There's a lot of exceptions, and I'm being purposely vague and not like spoiling some other thoughts I have on other albums.
Perfect.
But I'm just kind of talking overall and generally, so any Queen fans don't fucking witch up me, please.
And we're trying to be quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's that.
And if anybody would like to discuss Queen albums further and might have some other recommendations, because I've not heard all of them, be more than open to
comment.
Have
we ever told anyone to comment?
No, not yet. Not until now. But
comment.
Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. All right, thank you. Next.
I will be there if I am directly addressed.
Yes.
I think. I don't know.
On to my movie recommendation, American Beauty. 2000. No.
American Beauty.
1999.
I don't know.
Yeah, the worst thing about this movie, right there.
The title?
This is directed.
What's the title mean?
The song, the track.
What's the title mean?
What's the
title? I don't even know.
You don't know what the title means?
Yeah, we talked about the movie already for like an hour and a half. I don't know what the title means.
So yeah, this is gonna be mostly me going through my notes because I had a lot to say here. I had a lot of notes. What are you doing over there?
Scratching my beard with the mic.
Yeah, well, you know it's awful.
Yeah, well, I'm giving people a unique listening experience. You never know.
Sure.
All right.
This is directed by Sam Mendes, who I haven't seen anything else by. He most recently did 1917. Is that what it was called? That thing, that like war movie that was supposed to look like it was one take, but it wasn't. And some people loved it. Some people thought it was whatever. I haven't seen it. Whatever. This guy's done some movies. This one stars Kevin Spacey, which I just put a little grimacing face next to that. Because he's not someone that you're supposed to talk about anymore. And obviously we don't endorse anything he's done or him as a person. I just love this movie.
I don't even know what he's gotten into, but it's probably sus.
Yeah.
It probably involves other people.
Yes, you're absolutely right. No, he was messing
really
around.
Fucked up. Fuck him. He should be canceled.
He was messing around with like a younger boy, and then he came out as gay and was like, "Oh, that fixes it." It was a mess.
Well, that fixes it.
It was a mess. Though I think he's fantastic in this film, and both things can be true. All right. Themes of this film: death, power, love, beauty, and vanity. Individuality. Damn it, I said this so perfectly before.
Did you?
Yeah, I should just insert that. I should just insert when I said this perfectly, because I have that. Abuse and abusive parents, mundane and extraordinary, happiness and fulfillment, and the lack thereof of these things. They're very important. You can interject whenever you would like, because I'm just going to do myself right here.
Yeah, go for
this
it.
whole thing. It's about an ordinary guy with nothing to lose.
His words.
In its own words, yeah. The opening clip of this film sets a tone of something more sinister going on than just your typical rom-com, I guess. Dramedy. It's kind of what this is, a romantic dramedy. We get Ricky's character filming Lester's daughter. I have her name down here later, but I don't remember it right now. Asking, do you want me to kill him?
Angela,
yeah, thank you.
Wait. Is Angela the blonde
Angela's
girl?
the blonde, yeah.
Yeah.
Janie. Yeah. And he's saying, she's talking about how she hates her dad and he's a creep and all this stuff, and he's like, "You want me to kill him?" And then in the opening narration,
Wait, did you summarize the plot yet?
we don't really have that. We're just going.
Basically, it's about this dad going through a midlife crisis, and he gets a crush on his daughter's friend in high school. Yikes!
And a lot more.
And a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ricky is the son of this family that moved next door to them.
Who is a different type of dude, and we'll get into that.
Very different.
We're going to start talking about the characters in just a second. I've got a lot of notes there. So yeah, it opens with this kind of sinister tone. And then in the following opening narration, we get confirmation that he will die by the end of this film, which you infamously missed all that when you were watching, and you think that's you're happy that you missed it.
In a way, yeah, I think I said that last time.
You did.
I think just because, even I didn't hear it, and as soon as the wife got the gun, I was like, oh yeah, Lester's dead, isn't he? He's gonna die from that gun.
Right.
Because they have her just look at it, just in the car, and it's just like, yeah, he's dead.
Right, and I had this note on why I think this.
Oh, I was just going to say as well, like at the end when he's finally like, oh, I'm doing great. When Angela asks him how he's been doing, and he's looking at a photo of their family, and I was just like, oh, you're double dead.
Double dead.
It's because he just smiled to himself and then just whispered to himself that I'm doing great. I was like, yeah, you're dead. You're definitely dead this time, dude. Like, no.
Anyway, for the I had this note just in case that we were gonna have a disagreement, but you completely missed the opening explanation that he'll die. And that note was referring to this quote that I still don't know who said. It's like a very very respected filmmaker or writer, I believe. And it's just essentially about this. Everyone's heard it. This bomb in a room. If there's three guys at a table and a bomb goes off, shocking for a second. But it's like it blew its load. It's like, okay. But if the audience knows that there's a bomb under that table the whole time and it could go off at any moment, that's exciting and that's suspenseful. And I think that's why I agree with this movie's choice to tell you Lester's going to die by the end of it. Because it doesn't seem like a movie where that's going to happen for most of the film anyway, without that knowledge. Casting and acting. I actually made a little subcategory, which I haven't done previously. I wrote, this is like my one criticism with acting, I guess, was Thora Birch, Janie, Lester's daughter. I thought her performance was a little mixed and a little awkward most of the time, mostly earlier in the film. And I said that could be because the character is meant to be awkward and uncomfortable, but decidedly I think that we're supposed to get the impression her character is more confident and show-offish, especially talking to her dad. I do think she's better later in the film when tension rises and there's that little show-off with her and Angela and Ricky towards the end. There, I think she's great, and I also think Thora Birch is great in Ghost World, which I saw her in more recently. So I don't know what was up, though. I am glad that they chose an actress who was actually in high school aged, to play this role because she was 17 in this film.
Still a yikes, though.
Which makes it weird, yeah. That we have a topless scene of her.
Yes, and same thing with Angela too. Even though she is of age,
she is. Yeah,
she's supposed to be in high school, and her face makes her look like she's 15. And the introduction we get to her for her is extremely sexualized because it's Lester's. Fantasy, which is fine, but it's just given the situation that she looks 15 and she's going further into like these seductive dances, I was just like, yo, what the fuck did James recommend me? I was like, don't tell me. He better not say that he fucking relates to the character at this part.
Yeah, and I definitely
I'll be like, this is yikes.
And I definitely do, but not at that part.
And then I had to like tell myself later, I'm like, okay, there's no way she's 18, but just
no, yeah,
you can't have one or the other. I'm sorry.
She wasn't. She's absolutely like, this isn't even the first time that she was in a movie like this. She was in American Pie, like the same year, I think.
But was she in was her character in high school in that movie?
High school, I don't know, but
like the way I see it is, you can't have one or the other. You can't have them in high school and have them be 18 unless they got held back.
Hang on. American Pie. I need to actually check this. My other note was she was also an American Virgin, which I haven't seen. No one's really heard of American Virgin that I know of.
Because people say this shit too. Like,
hang on. My point was that I guess she's just like the American girl because she's in 3 American movies.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, go for it.
I figured. I guess it started when the fucking okay. Am I gonna do a call out here?
I guess. I don't know what.
I mean, I'm gonna call out a whole part of a fan base.
You are?
Yeah. It was with the whole with Doki Doki Literature Club.
Okay.
And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, no, Toki's 18." I'm like, no, she's fucking not. Get out of here, you creep.
Isn't she?
It was canonically, yeah, but I mean, look at her.
No, that's not how that works.
I mean, I could draw a 5-year-old and say that they're 18. Shut up.
I don't know, because if you're gonna say that, then I think Monica looks like 30. So, but anyway.
Yeah, but she looks like 17 too. I'm not even gonna say like, yeah, she looks 17, 16.
Okay. Anyway, as you asked, American Pie. Yes, she is in high school. Actually, the whole point of American Pie is that 3 or 4 guys want to get laid before they're out of high school. So that entire movie's kind of based around high schoolers having sex. And so that answers your question. I don't know what was filmed before or after. I think she must have been 18 in both these films. But we're talking about Mina Suvari, by the way. We're not talking about Thora Birch this whole time. Yes, okay. She plays that like shitty kind of too cool for school girl, like too well. All right, Wes Bentley, who played Ricky, I thought was perfectly cast as an outcast. With his fucking eyes, his psychopath stare. Love it. And
I said before that my headcanon is that he grows up and becomes Ninja Brian.
Right, and I love that. Stare. Yeah.
And the scene also when he shows Janie what he thinks is the most beautiful thing he's filmed, and it's a plastic bag strapped in the wind with some leaves.
Yeah,
going circles. There. And I agree with that entirely. Like I just saw it just cut to that and just showed it for like a good minute, and
it's beautiful.
Literally, I just sat there and was just like, "Wow, yeah, I agree. I completely agree." But before the movie even said anything, which I half expected Janie to look at it and be like, "Are you fucking serious? This is stupid."
Right?
Was it just a bag? I think she did. Honestly, I don't remember.
It's just a bag.
A bag. Also, similarly,
I don't know if she did. I don't remember
when he was filming the dead bird, and Janie and Angela are like, "Are you filming a dead bird?" And before he can even answer, in my head, I was like, "Cause it's neat." so I'm Ricky, pretty much.
You get him. I get him.
I
too.
get him. Yeah, it's art. It's art. It's artsy.
Yeah, I said that you don't get a character like him in such a sympathetic light these days. And what I mean by that is just that he is portrayed for the first chunk of the movie is just like this creepy outsider who films people without their permission, who does all the shit. It was a lot more accepted back then to see this guy in a sympathetic light, and he's absolutely gonna become a more like, I guess, problematic aspect of this movie as time goes on. And there are other things that are gonna be seen as problematic that I didn't note, so I'm not gonna try and recreate what I said there. This is just how we feel, I guess. Ricky also, he knows how to play his asshole dad, who is a great character, played by Chris Cooper, who is equally perfectly cast as this gun-toting, red-blooded conservative American. You have a lot to say about his character.
Yeah, but I'm gonna cut it short. I'm just gonna say I just love his character. I think he's the most deep character amongst the cast in this entire movie.
Right. We also
Maybe
get
second to not Lester. Well, it's just pretty simple.
You're talking about Ricky?
Yeah, second to Ricky, really.
Okay. Him and his dad.
I was thinking, it's Ricky, maybe Angela.
They have a great.
Angela has some depth, but they didn't really explore it. Sadly.
I felt like she was one that had less depth, but I'll get to that in a second.
Well, only near the end is why I say so.
Sure, I get you. But yeah, I agreed. Last time you said that you were more interested in the Colonel and Ricky's kind of back and forth than you were in anything else in this movie, and I think that's totally fair. I was interested in everything pretty equally, but it's a great dynamic that they've got, and I'm glad that we get a lot of focus on that. You definitely wouldn't get the Colonel in any sort of sympathetic light now either, and I don't. In this movie, he is a bit more gray. Like, you have Ricky even saying that his dad's not a bad person, which, you know.
No, just from the performance alone from Chris
Yeah.
Cooper just shows that he is totally sympathetic. Like, even honestly, whenever I watch a new movie, it might as well have been made today.
Right.
That's just kind of the best way to look at it. Also to keep in mind, the setting of the film too. If it's in the 80s or something, to deal with continuity, what was normal at the time, things like that.
Yeah.
What it's trying to convey now, and that's just things to keep in mind. But it might as well have been made today. I still found the Colonel so sympathetic of a character.
Right, and I don't know that a lot of people would.
Just from the facial expressions, at the very end when he thinks that his son is actually gay and was doing things with Lester when he wasn't, just jugulated. And he was threatening to leave, and Ricky finally had enough and doubled down on it, and he just had his fists up, but he really didn't want to. He was clearly hurting him to tell his son to leave. Just very powerful.
With his arms up.
Yeah, because
it's
the only way he knows how to communicate anything, really.
Yeah, Chris Cooper is fantastic.
Just because he's so not secure with his emotions or how he thinks or feels or what is attracted to, which is also shown at the end of the movie as well.
Yeah, which has become a big trope. I don't know how tropey it was at this time for the homophobe is gay, but
but there is lots of evidence to suggest that he is, or that he's unsure himself, given his behavior throughout the movie.
Right.
So it's not it's not like it's out of the fucking wind,
Right. I was gonna say I just don't know that how kindly it would go over today if you try to show this homophobic, guy who beats his son and is a piece of shit.
For fucking SJWs, I guess, sure.
Well,
they don't like hearing the F word, the other F word.
No, but if you show this character, and you want to depict him in a light that is more gray, it's kind of hard to do now.
Yeah, just do it like this.
Yeah. Okay. What I write? When Colonel's being homophobic in the car. Oh, just a little scene I loved. And then Ricky's like, "Yeah, you're right." Just so unconvincingly, and I just love how he plays his dad.
Yep.
Back on. Okay.
I was just gonna say, let's speed it up a little bit, maybe.
I'm going through all my notes.
Yeah.
So that's all I plan to do. At one point, Angela, Mina Suvari, says, people looked at me that way since I was 12, talking about sexually, and
that happens.
So real, too much, pretty gross. I remember that when my high school girlfriend was
I'm pretty
pretty
sure
young.
Any girl can also attest to that.
Absolutely.
And some even younger.
Exactly. And
you can honestly, lots of people can honestly say that they've had that since they were 5, unfortunately.
Right.
Most people even.
Let's not
even exclusively. Yeah, it's just awful.
I said that the score is fitting and memorable. You said it wasn't.
I hardly remembered it. That wasn't pop songs. Oh, that. Yeah. That fucking elevator music.
It just felt like...
it sounds like stock music, honestly. I swear to God, I've heard that in an Addicting Games flash game.
Yeah, it fits so well to me with this guy's kind of elevator music life at the beginning, and he kind of breaks out of it. As soon as I heard that music going back to this film, I was like, yes, that is the sound of this movie, isn't it? This movie's visually interesting, very interesting. I love a lot of what it does. The way the film uses Ricky's camera, as well as mirrors, at least at one point, kind of the way The Shining did. I mentioned just to show a character talking in a mirror. who would otherwise be off screen.
It's an indirect way of showing us what the other character sees when
Yeah,
showing them
yeah.
both in the same shot.
I cited,
though it is a different context in The Shining.
yeah, it is absolutely. But I cited the topless scene when we see both Ricky and Jane's room through the live camera feed on Ricky's TV, but we're like seeing into Ricky's room through the actual camera. And I noted that there's a makeup, or there's like a continuity issue where when Ricky gets punched, his nose was already bleeding right before the Colonel punched him. Not a big deal at all. Just noted it. And his facial damage doesn't last throughout the movie. Just in general, but we concluded like we don't know how long this movie is supposedly like takes place over, so it's not really a big thing. The live feed is used for multiple neat shots throughout. Again, it's used kind of in the same way at one point when they're in the bedroom. Janie and Ricky just fooling around, and the camera's showing Janie and the TV, and we see what Ricky's doing on the TV. So that was pretty neat. Quick John Cho cameo, Harold from Harold and Kumar, when Carolyn, the mother, is trying to sell him a house. Love that. Love the rose petal visuals. Not the first movie to go all out with rose petals, but I think they made some cool, visually interesting shots here. I noted Kevin Spacey looks straight into the camera at one point after saying, "I wouldn't remember me either," to the guy that his wife ends up later having an affair with. And I don't know if there's any significance to it. Or maybe if he's just looking at the woman next to him and it looks like he's looking at the audience, but I like it, whatever it is. Yeah, but anything to add at this point, or should I keep going?
Keep going.
Keep going. I love Ricky quitting his job on the spot. Really love that. Great scene, and then having Lester be like, I think you just became my personal hero.
Love that part.
Love that scene so much.
Love Ricky there too.
He's just like, then don't pay me. I quit.
Now leave me alone.
So great. Okay, big one here. The screenplay is pretty unique, albeit not entirely original, in my opinion. Some contrivances in character writing and dialogue, which I'll get into. But also, I want to know, I don't think like a screenplay, like you can have a formula as long as you fucking flesh it out and do it well and add something of your own to it, a new voice or whatever. But yeah, so in this one, some characters though are unique and give insight to some interestingly human traits and events. Lester is obviously a great example. He's sick of monotonous, mundane life and begins to live more freely and with less concern for any form of stability in his family and his business lives. Ricky giving his boss the middle finger is inspiring to him. He also has a mini Walter White arc, which I said a bunch last time, and you were like, what?
Yeah, because Walter White's evil, you know?
Yeah.
Lester's just like, I'm just going to go back to being 15.
Right, but they both began the same way, kind of.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, they did.
Except Walter White had news he was going to die.
Yeah, minus the cancer diagnosis.
Yeah. Walter White knew he was going to die, but they both had this like...
Here it's just the narrative that knew he was going to die.
Yeah, and he just kind of had a midlife crisis, which is,
about the same thing.
It happens.
It's basically lung cancer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I said he almost has a mini Walter White arc. He does several things.
Also, Walter White, didn't capitalize on a lot of opportunities in his life, and missed the big one, like with Gray Matter Company or whatever the fuck.
Right. And the way he talks, what did I say? I just listed a few examples of like directly things that Walter White did too that I loved. Just the way he talks to his wife when she threatens divorce, like gave me very Heisenberg vibes when she's like, "I'll divorce you." What on what grounds? Like that could have just been Bryan Cranston with his little like "fuck you" stare. I love it. Then he buys weed, which Walter White also did. He spends $2,000 in this movie, which is not like that's insane.
That's not even realistic either.
Yeah, no.
2,000 for an ounce. Like take a zero off of that, and then that's more realistic.
Yeah, even for 1999, like I know shit was different, but no,
No, it's like that's still like the same amount as it is today.
Yeah. And he
Almost.
and he buys a new car, which Walter White also did, and I love that. The visual of the white picket fence and blue roses remind me a lot of Blue Velvet. I like that a lot. Seemed intentional, but then also I was realizing like that's just a pretty common image, so who knows? What did I say? Ricky and his dynamic with his dad I find interesting. We went over that. Jane's arc that ends with her resenting normal and popular values was cool to explore. So yeah, there are definitely character examples where they added a lot to it. They took a kind of an archetype and transformed it a lot.
Oh well, no, they are archetypes.
Yeah,
if I can chime in.
And then
they're like based on the characters, like they're all archetypes. They're almost like on different corners of like the whole political grid, and a lot of the movie is just exploring how these characters interact with each other, as well as them trying to pursue their own have their own reason for living and their own idea of what growth is as well, own pursuits and all of that. They're not really strong characters, but they double down on the archetype to make it work essentially. They just stay consistent with that tone, and the whole tone of the movie is just comedy. He's just framed that way, like literally. Angela just is like Lester overhears Angela talking about how she would fuck him if he works out a bit, and so he does, and then that jump starts him picking up after his whole life. There's a potential to have sex with Angela. And even then, like while I was thinking, like while he was working out, it was around the scene where it was after the wife had an affair, and she comes in and she's like sees him bench pressing, and is for some reason pissed off at that. I don't even know why she is, but she is.
No, I think she was
at
pissed.
That point. I thought like, Lester, dude, what's your goal? Like you work out, she notices. Now what? Like what then are you gonna do? Like, do you really think like she was serious?
Well, no, I think there was a lot. I think there's a lot more to dive into, but we don't have all the time today.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Sure. But yeah, I think it's a lot bigger, a lot more to do with his midlife crisis that's going on, and not like the sole purpose of this movie.
Well, yeah, but like that's
fuck her.
Pretty much like where he starts making all the changes.
He's actually really casual with her past the initial meeting. When he first meets her, he's really weird and awkward and creepy at the school, and then every time she comes over after, he kind of keeps his distance from her, and she starts coming on to him, and it's like, okay.
After the first time, he was ogling over her too, and she did say, Janie did say that he was ogling over her every time she's been over, and Lester's in denial over it.
Right, I think he's just kind of breaking out. He's like trying just a bunch of new things to break up the monotony of the mundane.
I mean, he's taking after a lot of Ricky, and and also like trying to do things to get him the goal of Angela, essentially.
Right.
Like there you go.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. The plot takes a lot of turns to elevate the film beyond just being a run-of-the-mill rom-com. I've said that. When Lester meets the Colonel, this is just a little funny scene that I think we both liked, where he meets the Colonel and then he like salutes him. He's like, "Welcome to the neighborhood, sir," and then he just like waves his hand. Sorry, that was stupid.
Yeah, and I knew I knew also immediately that Lester was going to do that after he announced his title to the gay couple that introduced themselves.
Right.
What I love, and I think is the funniest part of the movie, is when Lester starts running with that same couple later, and just because he's running with them, the Colonel thinks he's gay, and so they're running past them on the sidewalk, and then the Colonel sees it, and he's just like, "What is this? A gay pride parade?"
Yeah.
I just found that so fucking funny.
Some little inconsequential things here. I could noted the "you like Pink Floyd" thing, and we talked about that for a second.
Yeah, it's definitely Dark Side. It's 100% Dark Side. No other album.
Yeah.
Because what other album
You
is
can't
there?
even see, but it's like, oh, that's totally Dark Side.
Yeah, that's it. Because, like, of course. Because Lester's just a dork and he's just a fucking normie. Like, look at him.
We get Bob Dylan's cover of "All Along the Watchtower." That's when he's working out. Actually, that's playing. Oh, that was cool. American Woman is in this movie. It's the worst thing about it, but I love that Spacey's singing along to it. It's pretty funny. So they made it bearable because I hate that song. And then I guess you didn't really relate to, but I love. It's not really like a relatable thing, but it's just like a funny incident where he goes to the drive-thru and there's just like incomprehensible jarble, like, and he's like, "What?" And he turns down the volume of the car. And then he fucking gets a job there at some like McDonald's type place.
Smiley, you're at Smiley's.
Yeah.
Would you like some Smiley sauce with that? Oh God. Yeah, he just got the most soul sucking job just so he can do something with the day, pretty much.
Yeah, he's like, it was great.
The cover, yeah. Like, I want you to the least amount of responsibility you have.
And they're like, I think you're not really like qualified to work here. And he's like, look,
I've got fast food experience. Slap.
Point. Yeah.
Boink.
Okay.
Yeah, like 20 years ago.
We learn why Ricky films to remind himself of all the beauty around him. And yeah, the bag is free in the wind from the electric buildup of the coming winter. That's the bag scene you were talking about earlier. I love it too. And like, I don't know. It's like kind of a pretentious scene, but it's pretty good. It depends if you're open to it. Love this quote. Janie, I quit my job, and then I told my boss to go fuck himself, and then I blackmailed him for almost $60,000. Pass the asparagus. And then the argument that transpires in that scene where he ends up angrily throwing asparagus at the wall.
And also, apparently, the wife didn't hear him because she keeps saying that how she's the sole breadwinner now. It's like, did you not fucking hear him? That he's getting a year's worth of salary anyway. So it's like literally nothing changed. If anything, you're getting more money because he has another job now.
Right.
I mean, it's not much in comparison, but like it's another like what the fuck is salary? Is minimum wage? $24K a year.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Like that's just another $20K just sitting right there. Like, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. I loved him playing with the RC car with the shit-eating grin on his face, and his wife comes home. Love that scene. You point out like how funny it would be if he was just sitting there all day waiting for her to come home.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because he was just sitting there doing nothing. There's no TV. He doesn't have a fucking phone. He had the RC car in his hand. It's like, was he just sitting there all day, just waiting for his wife to come home?
Yeah, I love it.
Just so he can just go.
And then right after that scene, they start getting a little naughty, and she ruins it by being like, "You're gonna
spill beer on the couch."
Yeah, and he's like, that to me says everything about why all his character motivations. He's fucking just done with shit. He doesn't care about the couch. It's a couch. Like, he starts smacking it.
He starts smacking a pillow on the cushion. It's really funny.
Like, it's
just so not impactful. It's just hilarious.
You're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, there's some Walter White in that scene for me. I love it.
Just because he's angry at his wife and just
no, not just because he's angry at his wife. Just his like disrespect for shit that doesn't matter, and like his newfound focus on getting what he wants out of life, to feel something, I guess. And like, this couch doesn't matter. It's a couch. Like, this, whatever is material, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then I guess we're towards the end here. I've got a few long notes to wrap up. That scene between Janie, Angela, and Ricky, where they're fighting. Love that scene. Where she's like, "Janie's a freak," and that soundbite was used in a Rise Against song. So I was really,
well,
it was a cool thing when I saw this movie and I heard that in context of the movie. I was like, I know that. Yeah, it was one of those. I think it was called Last Chance Blueprint, the Rise Against song, if you want to check it out. But yeah, love that scene, and love that culminates in the at least I'm not ugly, and then Ricky's little like, Yes, you are. And you're boring and ordinary. Fucking so good. Ricky's great there. And Thora Birch is great there. I don't know why she's great there because what I said earlier. But anyway, all the events in this film perfectly culminate to this disaster where homophobic Colonel thinks Lester is seeing his son sexually. And if you've seen the film, you know what we're talking about. It's a lot of coincidences. Him seeing his son through the window. Looks like he's sucking off the Colonel, but he's selling him weed.
Sucking off the Lester.
Yeah. Sucking off the Colonel. That'd be a little weird. It's already a little weird, I guess. But when he's
it is questionable how he just got the perfect angle to like miss him rolling a joint.
Yeah, there's a lot of
how that just kind of happened to have the circumstance with that.
Yeah, a lot of things perfectly come together. And then when confronted, Lester has already had a falling out with his wife. And so his carefree personality and like his relief make him seem so much more culpable because the Colonel comes over there and he's like, "Where's your wife?" And he's just
with another man.
Yeah, with
I
another
don't care.
man.
It's just all the
it's all
marriage
for
the
show.
Cover.
Yeah,
because of how weird they are.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the Colonel, who's like this repressed gay man and bitter homophobe.
I don't even know if he's like just gay strictly. You just be curious,
Yeah,
Which is what I'm sure. What I'm.
He's
like,
definitely sexually
making
repressed
my money on
in a way.
Yeah.
I said my note says he kills Lester in the end, but you point out that I guess it's not straightforward.
It's not straightforward, but it pretty much is like confirmed with his bloody T-shirt, and there's no blood on the wife. I guess I just got a little confused with how like it framed the with the scene because you get all the people reacting to the gunshot, so it's all like it kind of shuffles up time just a bit,
right?
Just to get those like extra added little bits of content there.
Yeah, we get the little Donnie Darko part where it goes through seeing everybody's reaction right as he got shot.
Yeah, which is fine.
Pretty cool. It was right before Donnie Darko came out too.
Yeah. But yeah, then we see the wife just be like crazy, which I assumed was like her realizing like what she really did, because like she then hugs all the clothes in its closet. So like it implies that she was there to like see them dead, and it's just now like realizing what she did. But it shows there's a gun missing from the Colonel's place, and he's got a bloody T-shirt.
Right?
Maybe he killed Ricky.
Really? No.
Do we see them at the end?
We do see Ricky. Well, we see Ricky and Angela like they're gonna leave.
Yeah, but do we see them afterwards? Because that was before Lester died. Because they're not in the house when they leave.
I don't. That's interesting. I don't think so.
There still is no blood on the wife, on Carolyn.
I didn't like. This is one where I didn't think like, oh, this is an open to interpretation ending. I didn't understand what happened with Carolyn.
I didn't think it was 100% open either. Just more like confused and like, is this what they're like trying to say? Is they're trying to leave it open ended?
Right.
It's pretty clear cut. Wants to see the blood on the Colonel's shirt.
As I was saying, I didn't know what happened with Carolyn. I didn't realize that she was at their house when she like left her car with the gun. And you told me, though, she was at that house. So they were both at that house, presumably about to kill Lester. I think the Colonel just beat her to it. And I guess I assume that the kids took off. Yeah.
Oh no, I literally just put that out there because I literally just thought that now.
Yeah. Right.
It's more food for thought, I guess. But yeah. Anyways.
So yeah, Lester, in his last minutes, he doesn't have sex with Angela because he realizes that she's a virgin, and to me, recognizes her youthfulness, and kind of sort of has this epiphany about what he's really drawn to about her, which is that youthfulness. It's what he misses about his own life. It's nostalgia. It's not really like she's kind of this plot device where it's not like he wants an underage girl. He wants that back, is how I take that. So I said, I think when Lester hears about his daughter, and that like she's in love, and he's like smiles, remembering like what that was like, feeling love for the first time. And that's like further supported when he's looking at the family photo and smiling at the end. And And then we kind of like get this, we go through Lester's greatest hits. The camera shows all these moments happening as back in the past. And it's very true to life, I think, because when you think of the good old days or whatever, like you have these snapshots that your mind has saved that like that's what you reminisce on. That's what's nostalgic to you. And I think that it illustrated that really well. At the end after he was shot. He's finally reached a form of fulfillment and then he gets shot in the head. Ricky observes him and smiles
Very of Mice and Men like.
Yep. Ricky observes him and smiles as he thinks about how Lester's whole life led up to this point. Or he said like some direct quote when he was filming The Bird, like it's supposed to be a connection to that. I'm like really pretty sure. And yeah, so that's that. That's most of my notes. Not exactly sure what happened with Carolyn.
I'm assuming she went to go kill him and then saw the colonel carry out the deed, and then she got shocked at what really happened.
Right.
And just ran. Again, there's still no blood on her, so it really is tough to tell. You just see her walk in, taking the gun from her purse, and then, like, that's it. So it is meant to be like, oh, what really did happen there, but it's like, you're not going to convince me otherwise. There's no blood on Carolyn, there's blood on the colonel. End of story.
Yeah, I just assumed it was telling you the colonel did it. But, anyway, yeah, that's it. My last note was the whole thing's topped off with Elliott Smith's cover of the Beatles and I love that. And I guess it's just because they couldn't get the rights to play the Beatles one or something.
Now, and I was curious as to why they thought they wanted to include this song at the end of the credits.
I get it thematically, with the lyrics.
Well, then
obviously.
Okay, then explain.
Okay, because the world is. What are the lyrics?
Because the world is round, it turns me on.
Are we doing an analysis of "Because" by the Beatles?
Because
lyrics. It's because the whole point of this movie is finding kind of the beauty in just the world. It's very thematically in line. Yeah.
Gotcha.
At
all
least
I just honestly just like, why did they put this song?
Okay,
here?
I thought you were like.
I thought
you really wanted to challenge me on it. I was like, really, man?
No. I mean, literally whenever I ask questions, I don't like, unless
right.
I think there's a flaw, like that's challenging. But here I was like, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So, Elliott Smith, one of my faves. Oh, probably my favorite artist. Great.
And it sounded just like Beatles.
Yeah, you didn't even know that it was Elliott.
I was just like, they got rid of the instruments here and just the vocals. Fine, I guess. But I was like, oh yeah, it sounds a lot like Elliott. I thought that too. So it's funny that it actually is.
Right. So, guys, that's it. I did almost all the talking for my movie, which is probably disappointing because
I chimed in.
Yeah, you did. You chimed in a lot more on the lost footage. So whatever. But that's how it had to be. I'm really the one who wanted to talk about this movie, I guess. So I'm sorry we didn't have like more of a back and forth on it.
More of an in-depth discussion. That's just because, time constraint. We're not going to talk about this movie for 2 hours, unfortunately.
Yeah, I talked more about your album too, probably.
Yeah. Though, if anybody does want to, again, open up discussion because this is a lighter episode, feel free to comment anything. If you want any thoughts about some certain things, or if you just simply want to share it and get our input or whatever, who the fuck else are we going to be replying comments to? Now's your chance.
Yeah, I reply to people
before we get big and famous. You have to pay money for us to even acknowledge you.
Yeah.
So really briefly, which I'm not going to get too heavy into. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, though there were lots of cringe segments that made me have to go on my phone just because just sheer uncomfortableness I felt, just out of the thought that like this is a 15-year-old girl,
and
this is the kind.
She's not again, but
yeah, she's not. But
okay,
she looks the
thought. Okay.
She I'm not even gonna make that joke. Okay. Wrapping it up. I think the characters being archetypes works to the movie's strength. It helps like tell a pretty simple story with characters and simply how they interact with each other and influence one another as well, just from their beliefs, set of morals, things like that are all really simple to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of interesting things going on. Though a lot of the problem I have with this movie is with Lester. They made him way too much of a Gary Stu. He's just too. They paint him in a light that is just too infallible, and like it's comes across as more forced sympathy, especially at the end.
Yeah, we had more of a discussion on this last time. We won't, but I like pretty much disagree with
there's
that.
quite a bit of plot contrivances, like things just kind of happen just for the sake of moving things forward. Things don't really feel too natural in lots of areas.
Right, I look at that.
Some of them are. Some of them you're able to be like, okay, it's just the general idea, and other times are just like, wait, what? Why?
Yeah, and I see it as like this perfectly kind of crafted painting, which is why I said like all this stuff comes together perfectly.
I don't know. I much prefer Donnie Darko in its character story.
I actually prefer. I love Donnie Darko, and I prefer this movie to Donnie Darko.
Similarly, Walter White is a much stronger, like crafted character than Lester.
I won't argue with that. We've got 5 seasons with Walter White also. But
that's true. That's true. But we did get way more like insight into Walt's character in like half of like the first fucking episode, first 3 episodes.
Sure.
I'll say.
But yeah, we're not gonna have this whole debate now. I do disagree on the Gary Stu thing. I think that he's got a lot of problems with him, and the fact that you've got a lot of problems with him speaks to that. And
well, that is my problem with him.
Yeah, but like, just like you got
how the movie paints him.
A lot of people actually
the movie is very much like feel bad for this guy. He's dying. You know.
Oh well, I didn't feel that. But
what's the tone of it? Like at the end as well.
I didn't feel that. I felt like you're supposed to feel fulfilled with him.
I absolutely wasn't, but like even still.
But no, I think a lot of people aren't big on Lester. Not for the reason you're saying, but just because of the things he does, which makes me think he's like very fallible in that. But I guess for the sake of our time, we'll have to move forward just knowing that we disagree on this.
I'll be willing to discuss anything further if anybody else has any problems or wants me to elaborate.
Right.
On certain things. It's a lot of smaller points that I can use as examples is what I mean, is why I'm not going to get further into it, because I'll be here for like
we did it last
30
time.
minutes.
We've already done it, yeah.
So, and there was also still some in the last time too that I was omitting for that sake. But yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, enjoyed it. Think there's lots of flaws. Would prefer Donnie Darko. Right. Don't think I'll ever watch it again either.
Perfect.
Feeling a strong 6 to a light 7.
Okay.
And you.
What am I logging for you? Oh, I give it a 10. It's one of my favorite movies.
Go and mark it a 7.
You know, okay, cool. It would be in my top movies list probably. But I've got a lot of movies to see still, so yeah. 10, and you were very questionable with that rating.
I'm still shocked that you can give this a 10. Like that this is like the same caliber as like Joker.
Joker?
Yeah.
Well, I give Joker an 8.
What?
Yeah.
Joker's an 8 for you, but this is okay, that's gonna be a whole other podcast talk. Why the fuck did you give Joker an 8?
Okay.
All right, whatever. This isn't gonna be the Joker podcast. It's fine.
But yeah, so yeah, I did say like if I was gonna give it a robot rating, it would be more like 8. But I think this movie speaks a lot, and like I named problems I had with it, so it wouldn't be a perfect 10 if I was trying to be more
and if I was
objective.
gonna give a score based on how much I enjoyed it,
less, I guess.
7.
Okay.
A comfortable 7.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, usually I wouldn't list like there's problems with the acting, there's contrivances with the plot and characters, and that'd be like 10.
Pretty good, like all the way throughout.
Right. You did. I guess
exceptional with Chris Cooper and
yeah, absolutely.
And, what's his face? Drake.
Kevin Spacey was great. Drake.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But you didn't have any problem with Thora Birch with Janie earlier in the movie. Yeah, you didn't feel like she was a little awkward.
Well,
it's very subjective. Like
she's supposed to be. She's a teenager.
Some will, some won't.
She's a teenager disconnected from her parents. Like she's not going to be saying much and be awkward around them.
Okay, yeah. I
Like,
already
we get
said
more like insight to her character, like throughout the movie with her interactions with Angela.
right.
And see quickly what her values are. Yeah.
I already said way earlier. I feel like we get to me, it's painted that she's supposed to come off more confident, so that would contradict with how I see the movie. But whatever. We talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about this for quite a bit. We're a little over schedule.
And we've got recommendations, which we already know what we're doing, so we're just going to come out and say them quick. I recommended you John Bryan's Meaningless, which is from 2001. Very hard to find on Spotify. It's on YouTube if you want to listen to it. And I'm excited to talk about that for us in just a couple days, actually. He was the composer of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Synecdoche, New York, Lady Bird, and a number of other films. Paranorman, whatever. All right. And you recommended me.
This is actually going to be a recommendation now because I've seen it by this point. You're getting No Country for Old Men, a movie that I've always wanted to watch that I've heard only good things about.
I'm going to watch it tonight or tomorrow.
At this point in time, I've already watched it for like 2 days ago, I think. I don't know.
Cool. And I'm going to watch it tonight or tomorrow. So great.
It's going to be one interesting discussion. So
great.
Hopefully you'll join us for that, for a more in-depth talk about those two things.
Yes.
And on
sounds
that
good.
note,
yeah.
Y'all better appreciate this re-recording.
Yeah, please do. Appreciate it. Last thing, I should have said this at the top. I'll do it next podcast. But we're on Spotify now. Yay. Yeah, awesome. So we'll see you there. We'll see you.
Blow out this candle in the meantime.
Right now.
Goodbye.